Hi, welcome to Nona's Here. I'm Nona, and today I am joining Tiff from Broke Girl Aesthetics and her co-host Dee from Designer's Loft for Small Creators Sunday. And the theme is Spring Has Sprung. Now, a couple weeks ago, I was at Hobby Lobby and Michael's, and they were displaying the most beautiful flower wreaths for spring. They were in all different colors, using all different kinds of flowers, in all different flowers, I said that already, in all different colors and color combinations. They were just beautiful, big flowers. I was just in awe. They were so beautiful. So I decided it was time for Nona to get started and make some of those beautiful big flower spring wreaths. So today I have 3 methods of making different spring flower wreaths for Tiff and Dee's Spring Has Sprung Small Creator Sunday. I want to thank Tiff and Dee for allowing me to join in today for Small Creator Sunday. Now, I'm going to show you 3 different ways to make these flower wreaths, all of which are very simple because if you've been with me before, you know I'm all about easy. But I made 7 different wreaths using these 3 different methods. So I want you to stay tuned to the very end because I'm going to show you the 7 different wreaths that I've made, and I'm going to ask you to vote on which one is your favorite. I will quickly run through pictures of the 7 different wreaths, give each one a number, and then ask you to vote in the comments down below which one is your favorite. Okay, so let me get over to my craft table and show you how I used 3 different methods for making these Spring Has Sprung flower wreaths for today's craft, and then I'll show you the 7 different wreaths that I made, all of which are easy, fun, and budget friendly. For our first wreath, I'm using a 14-inch wire wreath ring that I got at Dollar Tree. And for every one of these wreaths, I used 8 flower stems. And I got my flower stems from Dollar Tree, Walmart, this one's from Dollar Tree, and a few stems from Hobby Lobby. I also used some foliage, and this is from Dollar Tree. So I cut my flowers down, and I used hot glue, my glue gun, to stick them on to the wreath form. And I'll show you how I did that. I also had some ribbon, and I think I got this at Michael's. And I had several to choose from for this wreath form that I'm showing you. And you know I always have more than what I use, but these are the different kinds of ribbon that I had for this particular one. So I'm going to start by, I'm going to cut down all my flower stems and start gluing them on my wreath ring. And I just glue them on randomly. And there's one of the big white flowers that I had gotten at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. And the way I glue them on is I stick them from the front to the back, and then using my glue gun, I glue them around the base of the stem, and then I take my glue gun and I glue from the top down of the stem. I make the stems when I cut them a little longer than what I need them because later on I'm going to cut those stems down. And then you have to kind of hold the flower up from the front till the hot glue sticks. So see, I'm gluing around the base, and then I glue from the top of the stem down, and then I hold it for a few seconds. Okay, so I've finished gluing all the flowers on, but you can see I've left a big space because I'm going to put a bow in there. And I'm going to use that ombre wired ribbon. And I'm going to show you how I make a bow, which is really simple because I'm not a good bow maker. So what I do is I figure out about how big I want my bow to make, how big I want my bow to be. And so then I just start folding it, that I know when I fold those folds in half, that's how big my bow is going to be. So I just fold over and over and over, and then I see if that's going to work, and that's about the size I want it to be when I fold those in half. And I make sure that my folds are nice and sharp and even. And then I just keep folding until I get the number of fluffs that I want on each side. I just keep folding, making sure that my sides are even. And I'm going to cut it off, and I'm going to leave a little bit of a tail. Okay, so now I'm folding it in half, and I'm going to take some baker's thread, and I'm going to tie it right in the half place. Now I found the baker's thread is the easiest to use because it's the thinnest, and I can pull it the tightest. See, I pull it real tight, and I'm going to leave tails of the baker's thread on there to tie it onto the wreath form. All right, now I'm going to fluff it out a little bit because fluffing is the most important part of making a ribbon. So now I'm going to show you. Okay, so now that's how it's going to go on. Okay, fluff, fluff. Now I've left a tail of the wired ribbon on the back. Okay, so now, I'm going to make a second ribbon that's a little bit smaller and put it on top of the bigger ribbon, my original ribbon, just to make it a little fuller. So I'm using the original baker's thread and tie them together just to make it a little bit fancier. Okay, I'm tying those two together. Now I'm going to take that tail that I left on there in the back and wrap it around the ribbon so it looks like it's one ribbon. All right. Now I'm going to fluff all that out. So now I have even more fluffs on either side. Now I'm going to hot glue it to the wreath form. I've done that. I could have left that baker's thread longer and just tied it on like that, but I didn't. Okay, so now I'm taking more flowers and I'm going to fill in that empty space around the ribbon so that it's all filled in. And there we go. There, it's all done. The reason why I did two bows, one bow on top of the other, is that ribbon was really transparent. Okay, now I'm showing you about the big stems that I have sticking up. So I'm going to take my wire cutters and I'm going to cut those stems down. And then I took some pink burlap, because this is a gift, and I covered the back with hot glue. And then I used some pink satin ribbon to make a hanger. Now, you know, I always hang my things up for a couple days and look at them to make sure that there's no empty spots. And when I hung this up for a couple days, I decided something was missing. So I took, that's the satin ribbon that I used as a hanger. I took one of those signs that I found at Dollar Tree. They're on a board, and this one said Dream, and they're attached by two tiny little screws. So Grumpy Grandpa took a tiny Phillips screwdriver, took the screws off of the board so that the sign came off of the board. Then I took the baker's thread, threaded it through the two little holes on the bottom where the screws were, tied the sign to the wreath, the flowered wreath, and then hot glued a couple spots on the top of the sign to the flowers on the wreath. And be careful when you do that, because the hot glue is really hot with that aluminum sign. And so I did that so that the sign wouldn't flip over. And then I had the word Dream on the wreath form, as you'll see in the final picture. Okay, so here it is, all finished and hanging up. I think it came out quite lovely. I was pleased with it. So then I did the same thing with a different set of flowers, using the 14-inch wreath ring. And these flowers, I'm pretty sure I got at Walmart. They were $5.99 a bunch. And again, I used 8 different stems, and I did it exactly like I did the other one. These flowers I got at Michael's, and I had used 3 of the flowers on the first wreath, and so I'm using the last 3 flowers on this wreath. Did exactly the same thing, glued them on, and there it is. And this is mine. I'm keeping this one, and I'm showing you how I'm going to cut down the stems. This is the ribbon I've used to hang it up, and I had a welcome sign. So there it is, all finished. I just love it. I'm really happy with it. All right, for the next one, I'm going to use these basket wreath forms, and I think I got them at Hobby Lobby. I think I paid about $6. I'm going to use sunflowers for my sweet, sweet daughter-in-law because her favorite flower is the sunflower. I'm going to do it just like the other one. I'm going to stick them in from the front to the back, and I'm going to hot glue them around the base and then down the stem. Now this one's a little more tricky because the holes in the wreath form are different sizes. Some are smaller, some are bigger due to the wreath form. But that's what I did. I used the sunflowers that I got at Hobby Lobby and some berries. And then I used this yellow polka dot ribbon, and all I did was make a simple shoe tie bow. And I tied it with the baker's thread in the middle, and I left a tail like I'm showing you to wrap around the middle to make it look like the middle is all covered. I tied it onto the top of the basket, and then I took 2 long pieces of the wired ribbon and made long tails. I love wired ribbon because you can make it form however you want it to. And then I took that long tail and wrapped it around so it makes like the ribbon is all finished. And that's how it looks. There is the finished sunflower basket. Then I made a purple one for my friend who loves purple, and I tied a bow at the top with a butterfly. These flowers were the hibiscus, and they were really easy to do. The only part that was tricky, like I said before, is the size of the holes in the basket part are different sizes due to the form of the basket. And so you kind of had to fitz around a little bit to find holes big enough to stick the stems of the flowers through. But it wasn't really that difficult. You just had to kind of play around with it. And I really liked the way they came out. I was real pleased with them. And I think the purple one came out pretty too. Tell me what you think in the comments down below. So I did the ribbon and the butterfly at the top, and I think my friend will really like it. Okay, let's go on to the third one. All right, so this is the third way, and it's the easiest. I used a foam wreath form, and these flowers just grabbed me at Dollar Tree. I just love the color of them. They're peonies, and I cut down the stem. Oh, okay, I'm showing you the ribbon. I have no idea why I'm showing you pink and white polka dot ribbon. I wasn't going to use those. But anyway, I cut down the stem forms to different lengths. Some I cut down short and some I cut down long. I wanted the longer stem forms so that, see, there's a long one, so that I could stick them on the outside and the inside to cover the ring form completely, because I wasn't covering the ring form with anything, just the flowers. And like I told you in the beginning, every one of the wreaths that I'm showing you took 8 stems. The big wreaths, the small wreath, the basket wreaths, they all took 8 stems of flowers. So I just went around and stuck the flowers in, and every once in a while I had to use a little hot glue to make sure that the flowers stuck in there real well. But for the most part, I just stuck them in and went around and filled in the foam wreath form with the flowers. And I picked up some white ones to kind of break up the blue, the turquoise blue. I just love that color. And it was real easy to do. It didn't take long at all. I don't know, maybe 40 minutes from start to finish of making these wreaths. I really enjoyed it, and I thought they came out real pretty. So that's number 3 of my different ways to make spring wreaths. Okay, and so here's a picture. I did several different colors. Here's a picture of this one finished. I put on a hello sign, tied it on with the baker's thread, and then hot glued the top so it wouldn't flip over. I did a bow. Here's an orange one that I did with hello, and here's a pink one I did with a bunny fanny. Okay, if I had some black paint on my hands during these crafts, that's because I was working on another craft and I had to spray a wreath form black with spray paint. And instead of putting on gloves, I didn't, so I got black paint all over my hands. But now it's time to vote. I'm going to quickly run through the 7 wreaths that I've made using these 3 different methods. Each wreath is numbered. Vote for your favorite wreath by number in the comments down below. A special thanks to Tiff and Dee for allowing me to join in today for Small Creator Sunday. Thanks to you all for visiting Nona's Here, and I hope to see you again very soon.